Hey y'all, this is my next video. This is another hot topic in our society is the homeless. What do you do with the homeless? You know, there's a verse that says, if you close your ears to the poor, you too will cry out and not be heard, God said. But who are the poor? I think the poor that God was referring to was people who are crippled. My opinion is if a person can walk, they can work. The Bible also says, if a man shall not work, he shall not eat. So I think that overall we need to help the homeless. We need to help the unemployed a little bit, but not too much. We don't want to coddle them. We don't want to baby them because ultimately you're crippling them. You know, and I've never really been a big supporter of unemployment or welfare because people should be working. You know, you don't need to baby people. Like my mom, I literally have been working since I was 14. Literally since I was 14, my mom expected me to buy my own clothes. I mean, she bought my food for the most part. She bought my food until I was 18. And then I had to buy my own food. I had to make a car payment. I had to pay my student loans. I had to pay her rent when I was living with her after college. You know, I wasn't babied at all, which is why I am the way that I am. There's pros and cons, you know. I mean, when someone gets babied, they're grateful. Maybe they're nicer, but they're also not capable of standing on their own 2 feet, you know. And you could say I've been standing on my own 2 feet at least since 18, but kind of 14. And I think that's what should be expected of everybody. You know, when I was in high school, my mom was like, get a job, get a job. And she was a single mom. It was just me and her. She was a single mom for 7 years. And I was like, school is my job. Why do I got to get a job too, you know? But she was always harping on me. So my first job, 14, I worked at a summer camp with like 30 kids. It was me and one guy who was like 40, managing like 20 kids. And we would take them to the pool and stuff like that. And then I worked at Petco. Then I worked at Office Depot. Then I was a tutor. Then I worked in preschools. Anyways, the point is, if a person can walk, they can work, and there's jobs for everybody. Like, say you're kind of crippled, you could do a sit-down job. You can be like a receptionist at a dentist office or like at a chiropractor office. You know, there's always a job for everybody. Everybody should be doing something. You know, even when I was pregnant, I was writing books. I felt like God was telling me to go work at Subway. But I was like, I don't know if I can handle that and want to throw up every day. I don't really want to be working around food, but maybe I should have. I don't know. But I was writing my books, and I felt like God said that was better. Check out my books on Amazon, Davis-Bedrick books on Amazon. Anyways, but I do say, and I made a video about this a while ago, if I ever became president, I would build more homeless shelters, and build more churches and build more orphanages, especially orphanages, because children can't help it. If their parents don't want to work, they can't help it. They shouldn't be penalized by being homeless. Like, obviously, we should have places for children, you know, because children can't work. But adults, I don't know. I remember I was in my college, went to a Christian college, and we were required to do a ministry. And so I went to Long Beach, which has the biggest homeless population of anywhere in the United States. And I was walking around with this guy who was running the homeless mission in that city. And I was like, man, so you guys must be like full all the time. He's like, no, there's actually always empty beds. I was like, are you serious? I was like, but there's the highest homeless population here of anywhere. And he was like, they don't want to abide by a schedule. They don't want to wake up at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. and make their bed and go out and try and find a job, because that was their requirement, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. So anyways, you know, there's a reason why people are homeless. Usually people don't trust them. A lot of them are ex-convicts. I think this guy told me 80% of them have a mental illness, which means they probably have demons. A lot of mental illnesses are demons, you know. So you don't want to mess around with homeless people. You don't want to be like hanging out with them. It's good to give them money sometimes. Like at various times in my life, if I had tons of cash in my car or whatever, I would give them some. You know, there was this one guy I met outside of a gas station, and he had a dog next to him, and he was sitting in front of the gas station. And I gave him like 40 bucks or something. And he said that God called him to be a missionary to the homeless people. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's really interesting. So I'm not going to say that they're all bad and that they're all strung out on drugs or alcoholics or possessed by demons, but most of them are. And it would be wise to steer clear of them. But it's such an issue. I mean, it's always made me sad. It's such an issue in our society, you know, and I don't know what the solution is. I know it makes us all like depressed just to see them. And we're like, there's got to be like some solution. Anyways, I do think we need more homeless shelters, but something should be expected of them. I heard a comedian, he was like, every time I go into a mall, I get an application from one of the stores. And then when I come out in the parking lot, I hand that application to the first homeless person that I see. And that's what we should all do, honestly. That's what we should all do, you know? Like, why do they get away with not having a job? Everybody should be doing something. Before I got pregnant, I felt like God told me either work or make babies. One or the other. Every woman has those two choices, those two decisions to make. And every man obviously just has the option of working. And they should be. You know, men really shouldn't be being lazy and sleeping all the time and not working. If you're a man, you should be working at least 40 hours a week. You know, and you should be helping somebody besides just yourself. Every man has a sister or a mom or a grandma or kids or a girlfriend or a wife that they should be helping. Anyways, yeah, like everybody can do something. Everybody should do something. If you're not doing anything, that's not good. It's bad for your mental health. Like, I think a big cause of depression is that people that don't want to help anybody. They don't care about anybody but themselves. You know, they're not doing anything to serve the world. That's why I started making these videos like 5 years ago, because it gives me a sense of purpose and a calling, and obviously I like to talk. And I think people like to listen to what I gotta say, but anyways, I do think that, you know, whoever becomes president, they should build more homeless shelters, just so we all don't have to see that, you know. It's just sad, you know. And then somebody should have a van that runs the homeless shelter and just go around and pick up the homeless people and take them to the shelter. And then you need someone who's running the shelter that those homeless men will respect, and they need to get put to work. Like, maybe they can find a job for them in the shelter, just like in prisons. Like, they have all the inmates build furniture, like something like that, you know. Which you could say prisons basically are homeless shelters. Is that a good homeless shelter? I don't know. But anyways, may God bless the homeless. May God bless the rest of us in trying to figure out the solution to this problem of there being so many homeless people, you know? God bless y'all. God bless. Bye.